Hi, welcome to Free Range Cottage. I'm Tanya and I have a fun video for you today if you like thrifting. And if you're here on this video, I have a feeling you do. You know, some of us haven't been able to go thrifting for a while. Our state was one of the few that didn't have a stay-at-home order, so some of our thrift stores and flea markets in the area did stay open. But honestly, I didn't do a lot of thrifting except in early March. So I have a few finds that I haven't shown you yet. And I also pulled in some things that I've thrifted over time. Some of them I've had a long time, some of them I've just had a couple of months. But I wanted to show you some of my favorite finds in my kitchen because there are certain things that I look for farmhouse style all the time when I'm out. And a lot of people are just getting into sort of a cottage style, farmhouse style, and maybe you want some tips or just to see what other people do. I know I always like to see what other people are grabbing at the thrift store and what catches their eye. So we're going to go ahead and do that today. And I'm going to hopefully give you some styling ideas also and just get you inspired to maybe rearrange things, or maybe once your thrift stores and flea markets open up, to get out there and find a special treasure or just to brighten up your day and your kitchen. I've got a big spread of items here, so we'll get started. I love a good ironstone piece, and I'm always looking for great ironstone plates and dishes of all kinds, platters. We have some really larger long plates, and then I just found these in, I think it was late February, early March, and there's 4 of them, and I'm pretty sure I paid, I'm trying to remember now, I think I paid $6 for all 4, and we've been using them. I put them on my new open shelf and I just love it. And of course, white dishes go with everything. Now these are sort of a restaurant ware. That's another thing that I always look for. And these have a little lip on them. They can go in the microwave. We use the heck out of these. And I think I have 5 or 6 of them left. I bought them years and years ago, and I think I paid $1 a piece for them. Another thing in the dishes area is that I love little creamers or sugar bowls. This one I had found for $1, and I have since looked it up. It's actually called Bridgewater Made in England Toast and Marmalade. And I had looked that up on, I think it was eBay, and this guy sold for like 50 bucks. And I was very tempted to list it, but it's just so cute that I love to decorate with it. And then if we have a lot of company, I might put some milk or, you know, some cream in there for coffee. And then I have these mixed in with some World Market spoons that, you know, have the little stamp on them. I got these when I had a, oh, let's see if that will focus. I got these when I had a coupon, and it's hard to, I don't think it's focusing, but they say they're stamped with tea time and cup of tea and stuff like that. So I've bought these vintage silver pieces, and I'm going to stamp on those little cute little words and stuff, or maybe even numbers. I saw one designer and I started to get obsessed with this idea. She got vintage silverware and she stamped a number here, or had it stamped, had someone do it, but I would do it myself. And so there were all different numbers on them, and it was just beautiful. They were all mismatched, but yet they had the numbers on them. It just looked really eclectic and pretty. Okay, so I moved over where you could see me. I didn't really like the whole just holding my hands up there. So another thing that we use all the time are our cast iron pans. We have, gosh, I've lost count, maybe 8 of them, but we use them almost on a daily basis. This is our latest find that I did find just a couple months ago, and it says Aunt Jemima Quaker Oats Company on the back, and it's flat. I love this one for making, you know, grilled sandwiches, an egg or 2, or a small batch of pancakes. We love our cast iron. This is one of our favorites. It's really deep, And it's great for, you know, if you're making fried chicken, or you can actually make casseroles and things like that and put it right in the oven. Now, new cast iron is fine, but actually the quality, it just seems like the quality on the older stuff, it's already seasoned, just seems to work better for us. We've used them for decades. These are more recent finds, but we have used cast iron for years and years. I grew up with, my mom had 2 cast iron frying pans that she used all the time. So let me know if you want cast iron tips on how to season and care for cast iron. It's not that difficult, but for some reason people are intimidated by it, and I think it's because the newer stuff is a little bit harder to get seasoned. I've had a new piece before and there was no comparison. Okay, also we're always on the lookout for pottery, cute mugs and pottery. These little pottery mugs are kind of heavy, and you can see on the bottom that they are marked, and I'm sure we paid about $1 a piece for these, but I just like the neutral color. I would rather have gray or taupe or cream color, you know. Another one, I think I had showed you this, but I couldn't remember, was this cute little measuring cup, and I did get that just a couple months ago. I'm using this mostly for decoration, but it kind of has that little bit of an industrial look to it, and I think it's really cute. Bottles. I use all kinds of these snap top bottles. This one right here, these I got $1 a piece, and these are made in Italy, and it says naturals pure water, and then it has a faucet on this side, and it's a real light blue-green, very, very pretty blue-green glass. And those are nice for a vase or to actually use for liquids. And I use this one I just found. You can see it's got some wording and stamping on it, but you can see there's oil in it. I've got my MCT oil in there, and I keep it next to the stove with my olive oils and stuff. So again, practical, but really, really pretty. These I found at the same time. This is a marble pedestal, you know, a cake or cupcake pedestal with a wood base. And I don't think this is vintage. I think this is probably something from somewhere like Home Goods or something like that, but it was, I believe it was $3. So, and it is the real marble. It's heavy and it's just beautiful, and they mix really well with my vintage cloches, the glass cloches. I bought those at the old Bombay Company. Now, if you're close to my age, you may remember that Bombay Company. You would go in their store at the mall. I remember I was a young mom, and they had all the British colonial cherry furniture. And just a lot of beautiful pieces there, but at that time, my budget, I couldn't buy any of the furniture. But I found these heavy, beautiful cloches on clearance one time, and guys, this was over 20 years ago, and I hung on to those things, and that's saying a lot for me, because I go through the stuff. I like it for a while, and then I sell it or give it away. So those have stuck with me. The other cake pedestal I found was this wicker one, and I'm obsessed with all things wicker, and the basket weave on it is just beautiful. I couldn't believe I found them at the same time, and I think that one was $2. So I feel like the same person donated both of them, so I'm not sure what they were doing. Another piece of pottery. I'm always looking for, this looks like a handmade piece. And I always like to find well done pottery, whether it's, you know, got a maker's mark or handmade, doesn't really matter to me. It just gives an earthy sort of boho natural feel and just mixes up that cottage and farmhouse look a little bit. Another piece that I'm always on the lookout for are these enamelware, vintage enamel pieces, the buckets. They're great for plants and, you know, just display, or as you're seeing in the picture, I use one to keep all my paintbrushes in. They're just pretty, and they scream farmhouse, they scream vintage. So you really can't go wrong with those. We even have one with a lid that we use for our veggie scraps for our compost pile. And it's funny how older stuff that was made really holds up well. A lot of times that's the case with older furniture and, you know, home decor pieces. They were made out of the real stuff. It's not aluminum or, you know, fake. Another thing that I always look for are baskets, of course. I have some vintage baskets in my pantry. I just picked this one up for $1, and I've been using it for my, no, actually this was 50 cents. I paid 50 cents for this. But you can see it's got almost like a screen finish on the bottom and the chicken wire, and it's got a little bit of a blue-green wash on it that looks like it's worn off partially. I mean, it's got all the good stuff to it, and I put my soap in it right now, my kitchen sink dish soap, and I'm really have been happy with that. And of course, you may, if you've seen my other thrift hauls, you know about my cabbageware plates, my little cabbageware obsession. So that's another bit of dishes. I collect white dishes and I collect these cabbageware dishes. Now there's somebody I'm following on Instagram that collects the jadeite, the light green glass. Oh, no, but it's beautiful. And of course she has a whole china cabinet just spilling over with it, and it's gorgeous. And the green is what gets me every time. I love green. So I'm going to try to be good and not look for that. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I haven't been looking for it. So you just never know, right? Another thing are these cute little espresso cups, and they came with these really neat saucer. It's unusual because it's got a lip on it. These were $1 for the set, and I've got 4 of them, and they're from a flea market, that Prairie Grove flea market. If you've ever looked at my Christmas video, cute place, Daisy and Olives. And if they have any more of these when I go back, I've got 4. I may pick up a couple more. I have some buffalo cups. These are also really cute little espresso cups, and you can see they're buffalo. They just say buffalo china on the bottom of these, but some of them will actually have like a little buffalo on there, and they're thick, and they feel really good in your hand, and the colors are just beautiful. You can see this is just a neutral kind of taupe. I love that one, and I have 4 of those. Haven't been able to find any more of those, and I got those at a thrift store for $1 a piece. Those were $1 a piece. Now my next thing, okay, so I blame Heather Bullard. I'll put a link to her in the bottom. She is a magazine stylist. She does the most beautiful farmhouse cottage style. A lot of these magazines that you know, and I drool over the styling and the homes in there. Heather Bullard has, you know, styled them and photographed them and whatever. And just, if you go to her blog, it's just so full of ideas. Well, at Christmas, she had this gorgeous picture. I will try to find it again, and I'll link to it. I can't share it here because I don't have her permission, but I'll link to it in the description. She had this gorgeous picture of this whole tray of all different kinds of vintage etched glass. I don't know if you can see quite the etching in that. So it was a tray, so like, in other words, you were setting out these glasses for everybody to just choose which one they wanted for their drink. It was just beautiful, and so eclectic. Like most of us that like thrifting, we like sort of a unique look, I think. And so now I'm looking for these etched glasses. I found these 2 at Goodwill, and they were about $1 a piece. I have not had a whole lot of luck, but again, I haven't been out thrifting like I normally would be. But by Christmas, I need to have a variety. I also found some cute little ones that were in a movie that I was watching that was filmed in 1970, and they had the exact glasses in there. And I paused it and I showed Rob. I was like, hey, I know when these are from now. They're really cute. And that is these. And I'll mix those with those etched glasses. But there was no marking, and there was nothing. I mean, I couldn't tell. I got 3 of them. There were 4, but there was a pretty good chip in the 4th one. These were 50 cents a piece. And so I grabbed them. I thought they were pretty enough that you could line them up and put some greens or blooms or something in them too, and they'd be cute little vases. But then I was watching a movie, and they were all holding one of these glasses. It was from the 1970s. So I thought that was pretty cool. And what is next? Oh, again with marble. I do love marble. I think it's very classic and it's so pretty. So I got this marble Lazy Susan at Goodwill. And I think I paid about $5. Again, I don't think it's, yeah, $4.94 on the bottom there. It's still on there. I don't think it's a vintage piece or anything, but again, it is solid marble. And I set my, you know, salt and pepper and butter dish on here. And it just looks organized and pretty, and it's a nice contrast with the wood countertops to have this piece of marble, so I do love that. Next piece, I'm having to reach here, sorry. These I got for $1 a piece. I was super excited about these. I cleaned them out. It was a flea market booth. They were all marked $1, and they look like milk glass, and they have the snap tops. They all came with the rubber ring, and I don't know if they're vintage. Let's see. Not for canning, it says on the bottom. I don't know what you can see there. I don't know if they're real old, but I have a suspicion they may be vintage. But I got some short ones and some tall ones, and I used some in my pantry, and I have a couple of these that I've been putting coffee beans in. They're a nice size for coffee beans over by my coffee station. And then they stay pretty fresh because of that rubber seal. And here we go, on to the next thing. Are these, I'm always a sucker for these crock, any kind of crock. And this one I picked up, they had just brought it out of the basket, you know, where they bring it from the back. And actually Rob spotted it, and let's see if the price is still in there. No, I think it was $3 if I'm not mistaken. And it did have like a real faint, like little cutesy decal on it, like from a kid's room or something. It really wasn't anything that I'd want to keep. It wasn't cute vintage, but I just took soap and water and my sponge, you know, the scratchy side, and it came right up. And now I love keeping a plant in here. It's a little bit lower light plant that I'm able to keep in my kitchen. And again, you can't go wrong. You will get farmhouse cottage style with any kind of crock like this. So that's it. I am looking for, I actually found this cute little tureen, and it was the same time when I found that crock. It was on the same day that we actually had found this at Goodwill. And let me see what this maker says. Gosh, I can't even read it without glasses on, but I'll hold it up here for you to see. But I thought it had just really pretty lines, really simple. And I'll tell you who has gotten me on these is Miss Mustard Seed. I have followed Marion's blog for years and years. She's just a farmhouse cottage style genius. We both had started a blog way back. I had a blog called Cottage Glamour way back in 2008, 2010. And I always followed her since back then. I just loved everything she did. But if you go look at her house tour, she has a lot of beautiful ironstone pieces, and she has a lot of these tureens that she styles with. I am just looking for maybe a couple of them because, like I said, I don't want too many things that I'm not going to actually put into use. But I think on maybe holidays or here and there, I would use them. So I'm only going to collect enough that, you know, I would maybe use them. And also for decor for the kitchen, I'm still deciding what I want in here because we haven't completely finished everything yet. If you've seen my latest progress video, which I put out, we still have a few things left to finish off, and I really don't, you know, I can't hang things on the walls and stuff yet because we're having to do painting and finishing up some things. But I had found, this is so funny because look at the back of this crazy cutting board, and Rob hated it. I think I paid $1 for it at a rummage sale. and this was back in the fall, but I had an idea for it, and when I was unloading what I had gotten, Rob said, I hate that. Why did you buy that? And I said, I've got an idea. So you can see it's cracked. It's not, but to me that's patina. To him that's, you know, imperfection and it's junk. So anyway, I liked that it had a leather loop already on it, and I had this little clip. It's kind of shiny and new looking. I have that rust patina paint that I might put on there, or I might just paint it white or just leave it. And then this was from an actual vintage book that I had bought, and I just pulled one of the pages out. But what I like about this is I can just either just lean it against a wall in the kitchen. I don't necessarily have to hang it. And I can change out the artwork seasonally. I could put, you know, something with a saying or a Christmas, and that works well for me because I'm really picky with artwork and I get tired of things quickly. I like to move things around. I don't necessarily do seasonal decor, like have bins of things, but I like sort of a refresh. I like to move things around a little bit and just get that refreshed feeling. Maybe add in a new plant or use a different container to put the plants in, or that, something like that. That's more of my seasonal decorating, more than, you know, a lot of different extras that you have to store and stuff. And I know I've said that before, I don't mean to be harping on it or anything, but I just feel like a lot of people are going that direction, because some of us that have been around a while and been homemakers went through all that period of, you know, bin after bin. There was a maximalist time, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff, and the more was more. And I still agree with that in some places. You know, it's hard for me to keep a minimalist kitchen because we do love dishes and we love all that stuff. So it's hard for me to keep it minimal. So that's why I keep with simple color scheme of white, you know, white, black, gray, and a little green. I try to keep it all the same so that it doesn't feel visually cluttery. So that's the only reason I talk about that, is that I know a lot of us are wanting to simplify our home routines, but still want a beautiful space and still want to be able to change things up a little bit, but not without all the storing of bins and, you know, just kind of the garish decor and all the stuff that you have to buy. So that's why I talk about it. But this is also another thing that I kind of, for decor, that I kind of stumbled into. This is not necessarily something that I'm going to keep in there. These are some prints that are on my blog in my resource library. One is coffee and one is tea. They're not exactly sized. For this I would have to resize them. But I started finding these sort of tin ceiling looking frames, and the ones I found were for $1 a piece. I've got these two, and then I've got another one out in the garage that I haven't painted yet that's bigger, and they were generally not in very nice colors. They're like usually like burgundy or some kind of not good color. Not neutral, let's put it that way. So I was actually going to put these in my flea market booth when I still had it, and I painted them, and I ended up liking them so much that I may find a place for them here in the kitchen, if not possibly in the dining room. I just don't know quite what I want in here yet. Probably some kind of black and white art is what I usually end up preferring. Again, the neutrals don't read as clutter as much to me, and that's probably why I like my home neutral, and I don't like too many colors. I don't like have to focus on too many things at one time. I don't know, maybe I'm losing my concentration as I get older. I just want things simplified. But anyway, I could keep going, you guys. I have more thrifted items that I use in the kitchen, and I will update you if I think of something that I really think that you'll want to know about. And then as we go out thrifting again, if I find some incredible finds, of course, you know I'm going to share them with you, whether they're for the kitchen or for the house. I'm still working on certain areas of the house, and so inevitably there'll be more thrifting, and it'll be a lot of fun. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you like thrifting, home decor, DIY, all things home, all this fun stuff. And thanks for joining me today, and talk to you next time.